Hi, everybody. This is Dr. Brett Talley Daniel, MD, and I'm a neurologist and addict doctor. And today I'll be discussing the subject of, is caffeine a drug? The definition of a drug is, quote, a medicine or other substance which has a physiological effect when ingested or otherwise introduced into the body, end quote. Considering the symptoms of using caffeine, then caffeine is a drug. It's a psychoactive drug which stimulates the sympathetic nervous system like adrenaline does. In the form of coffee, caffeine is the most commonly used drug in the world. Is caffeine a drug? Caffeine is not only a drug, but an addictive drug, commonly producing symptoms in humans of rapid heartbeat, increased ability to focus, increased physical ability, and insomnia. Related questions. Who says that caffeine is an addictive drug? Who says that? The DSM-5, which is the current edition of the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual for Psychiatry Diagnosis, includes in the list of addictive drugs caffeine in amounts as small as 120 milligrams a day. Can caffeine produce withdrawal symptoms? Criteria for caffeine withdrawal are prolonged daily use of caffeine followed by abrupt cessation or reduction of total caffeine use, closely followed by headache and one or more of the following symptoms: fatigue or drowsiness, anxiety or depression, nausea and or vomiting, clinically significant distress or impairment in social, occupational, or other important areas of functioning. What is caffeine intoxication? The diagnostic criteria for caffeine intoxication are recent consumption of caffeine in excess of 250 milligrams a day and the development of 5 or more of the following signs during or shortly after caffeine use: restlessness, nervousness, excitement, insomnia, a flushed face, diuresis, gastrointestinal disturbance, muscle twitching, rambling flow of thought and speech, tachycardia or cardiac arrhythmia, periods of inexhaustibility or psychomotor agitation. Well, I have a list here of approximate amounts of caffeine in various beverages. If you look up this same article on my webpage, Is Caffeine a Drug, at www.drmigraine.com, you'll see that in the biggest one that most people drink, that on the street or in offices or stuff like that, is Coffee Grande, 16 ounce at Starbucks, and that's 550 milligrams of caffeine. There's a no-dose, a maximum strength of Vivarin, has 200 milligrams. Caffeine Monster drink, energy drink, 16 ounces has 160. A 7-Eleven Big Gulp Cola has 64 ounces, has 190 milligrams of caffeine. Just regular coffee like non-gourmet coffee like Folgers, 8 ounces has 135 milligrams. 2-Excedrin has 130 milligrams. Dr. Pepper has 39 milligrams. The original pop cola drug was Coca-Cola, 12 ounces. That has 35 milligrams of caffeine. But Mountain Dew is the highest soft drink, and it has 55 milligrams of caffeine. There's even a listing for caffeinated water, and I couldn't figure out how much was in that, but can you believe it? There's a caffeinated water. What are the pharmacological effects of caffeine? Pharmacologically, caffeine acts as a central nervous system stimulator, a point that is well made by the coffee ad on TV, which calls it the think drink. The duration of the effect of the drug is 6 to 8 hours, but even one drink in the morning will interrupt sleep at night for some persons. Caffeine also acts as a constrictor of smooth muscle, which is found in arteries, the bladder, and the colon. It is the arterial vasoconstrictive action which helps with mild migraine. People would take Excedrin, BC powders, or Vivectin, and may lead to the rebound or medication abuse headache syndrome when one withdraws from caffeine or while you're taking too much caffeine. Coca-Cola was marketed in the United States after the Civil War as an over-the-counter treatment for migraine. The smooth muscle effect also acts as a mild stimulator on the bladder, promoting urination, and in the colon, a bowel movement. Can caffeine cause Chronic migraine or medication overuse headache. The International Classification of Headaches states using caffeine 15 days a month can cause daily headaches in some patients, called a chronic migraine due to medication overuse headache. The American Migraine Society has stated that caffeine is the number one over-the-counter drug causing medication overuse headache. What other medical problems can caffeine use aggravate? GERD, which is gastroesophageal reflux disorder or heartburn, generalized anxiety disorder, panic disorder, insomnia, epilepsy, death, rarely, migraine, or medication overuse headache. I urge all caffeine-addicted patients, migraine patients, panic disorder patients, and patients with sleep disorders to taper off caffeine, which, as I said at the beginning of this talk, is a drug. Thank you very much for listening. Please click on subscribe down there so we can follow each other. God bless all you folks with migraine. And I will see you on the next talk.